nor have we done anything that would be falsifying to the word. When Yahweh spent all of that time saying, this is our covenant, you are going to obey everything that comes out of my mouth, this is good, it brings life, all the way through the end of Deuteronomy, anything that we would say against that would be falsifying the word. He said, we are not falsifying the word, but by manifestation of the truth, seeing it walked out in a more full way, okay, that's bringing a recommendation. That's recommending ourselves to everybody. And indeed, verse 3, if our good news has been veiled, it has been veiled in those who are perishing. In other words, again, those who have the veiled hearts. They're not hearing it. They're not receiving it. It's not that, he says, not that we're not saying it. If our good news has been veiled, it's because it's been veiled by those and in those who are perishing, in whom the mighty one of this age has blinded the minds of the unbelieving, so that the enlightening of the good news of the esteem of Messiah, who is a likeness of Elohim, does not shine on them. Again, do you see the problem? It's consistent. It's not the words that were on the tablets. It's not the law. It's the person with a blinded mind or a veiled heart. Okay? He's consistent the way he's pointing the finger at the people, not at what Elohim gave, not at the laws itself, but at the people who had their problems. He said they've had their minds blinded so that the enlightening, so that, in other words, he would shine light, he would shed light on these things, cannot be received because they are blind. For we do not proclaim ourselves, but Messiah Yeshua, the Master, and ourselves, your servants, for the sake of Yeshua. He says we're not proclaiming ourselves for our own purposes. We're doing this to bring glory and honor to Messiah and to what the Creator is doing. For Elohim, who said, let light shine out of darkness, is the one who is shown in our hearts for the enlightening of the knowledge of the esteem of Elohim in the face of Yeshua Messiah. So what he's trying to do consistently here is bring context to those who may be embracing the Torah, but are not embracing Messiah as part of the context of how we apply it. Does it make sense to everyone? The law itself is not the problem here. It's how the people are approaching this issue of, remember, it's hard for us here. We are a mixed multitude who comes together. Very few of us in this particular room are Jewish, in literal sense. So we don't have that dichotomy that was going on in this time of Paul. The vast majority, thousands and thousands and thousands of members of the body were all Jewish. And now all of a sudden, these non-Jews are coming and getting involved. And guess what? There's a rift. There's a challenge of coming together and not seeing the other person. It's like if you have a society that's all white and a society that's all black or all yellow or all green, whatever it is, and you look and now all of a sudden you're coming together and all you can see is there's a difference. Instead of saying, no, but you're a man and I'm a man, you're a woman and she's a woman, but why don't we just see that? Why do we see color? Well, here they're seeing previous background by birth. They're seeing genealogy. And they're saying, hey, we with the genealogy know better than you do. That's why Paul says, what, do I have to bring you letters showing I was a student of Gamaliel and I've got all of these, endorsements to show that I know what I'm talking about as a Benjamite? Do I need to do that? Actually, in one of the letters he does that, right? He says, here I am, a Hebrew of Hebrews, a Benjamite, student of Gamaliel, I know what I'm talking about. And by the way, he would be in big trouble claiming that lineage and talking about the law in any negative sense. There's just no way. He would be shaming his teacher in the biggest of ways. I mean, huge. He would be shaming his teacher in the most egregious way. To claim that lineage and then say what is most dear to his teacher is somehow bad and death and awful and kills, and that's not the problem here. He's saying, look, a problem is that the mighty one of this age has blinded the minds. Let's give Hasatan credit finally where it deserves to be. The mighty one of this age is blinding the minds. The problem is he's only blinding the minds of the willing participants. Those who willingly don't want to see it. You want to see it, it's right there. Elohim will open your minds. The thing is, he's got to disturb your peace. You've got to want to see it. Because he's poked a few people, disturbed their peace, and they still don't want to see it. Don't be a willing participant. The willingly ignorant, the willingly blinded.